is the Sports Timeout Podcast with Brooklyn Farrell, Tony Caranco, and your host, Wes Underwood.
Single man set by Paul. Right.
Those were some of the ghetto taco sights and sounds from the big events this last weekend, and big events they were. Missouri Southern women getting that winning streak back in order and looking good as they go into play tomorrow, and Missouri Southern men back on track now after that tough loss at home. But yeah, and then Joplin's tough loss at home there after coming back. But man, welcome to the Sports Timeout Podcast, brought to you by Jefferson's and Krackin Cajun Seafood House in Joplin. Wes Underwood along with Tony this week, and Miss Brooklyn is out again. And, ready to get to it. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
You know, it's been a week, but now we can talk some sports and get some things off our chests, so I'm good.
Heck yeah, let's do it, man.
Yeah, first up, we'll go ahead and talk NFL and talk the Cowboys. And after their kicker Mar missed 4 extra point kicks, Jerry Jones said that they wouldn't bring anyone else in. And then Jerry Jones goes and gets insurance and Vizcaino just to kind of keep that in Mar's head. And what are your thoughts on that one? Is he kind of contradicting himself there?
Well, yeah, he's obviously contradicting himself, but he's probably being advised by somebody else to do it. Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's a smart move just for some insurance. But, you know, the guy had a bad night. We all have bad nights, regardless of what it is, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so just let's be happy that he won. I mean, they won, and, you know, he's good now. Let's hope he has an awesome, rest of the season.
Yeah.
Because obviously I don't want the guy to lose his job just because he had one bad game, you know.
It's true.
Let's, if he's done really, really good all year long, except for that one night. So, I guess let's give him another shot. And, I think if he finishes off strong, we'll be fine.
Do you hear that?
What's that?
It's like the ghost of Tristan yelling "them boys" from across the street or something.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying I'm a fan of the Cowboys, but I'm just saying that I don't want this kid's, career to be over just because he had one bad night.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to you, Tristan. We know you love them boys, and they get a win there. Good job.
Hey, and Tristan, if you're listening to this, man, hey, sorry for doubting you. The Cowboys made the playoffs. I was saying all year long they weren't going to make it, and they did.
I joked here and there, but credit's due when credit's due.
Exactly. Good job,
Next
Tristan.
in the NFL. Yeah. Say that.
I said, good job, Tristan.
Yeah, indeed. Next in the NFL, we talk Chargers head coach Brandon Staley, and he makes it into the playoffs in his second year after just barely missing the year prior. Controversy there with the tie game, but we won't go into that. he's 19-15 as a head coach and has guided a well-driven ship through injuries and adversity. As I said a couple of weeks ago, let it be and see where he goes next season. As much as I like to see the Chargers doing terrible, but also doing well, because I mean, they made the playoffs and they were threatening last year. But that being said, I mean, give him a chance. That really does hurt me, but I mean, he's done a good job and he's put the Chiefs, I mean, like right on the wall year after year since he's been there for the last couple. So what are your thoughts on this one? Do you think, I mean, talks have kind of gone down a little bit, but is it weird that it's still out there on the table that he's going to get fired possibly after this playoffs bout?
Man, yes and no. I mean, I think the Chargers are competitive, but even then, I would put them like very mid-tier, in the AFC. So I think, again, I do think they're competitive, and I think they know how to play the Chiefs well.
Yeah.
There's just teams that know how to play the Chiefs well, and that's just one of them. I mean, so I don't think that because they play the Chiefs well means that they're a high caliber team.
True.
I'd say that, yeah, he's decent, but there's something that needs to change in order for them to be that number 1 or number 2 spot in the AFC.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to me, well, they're obviously the number 2 spot, but they need to be the number 1 seed, which is really hard to do. I understand the Chiefs are good, but I do think that something needs to change. Whether it is a slight change in maybe how they use Herbert or maybe a little bit better defense. I don't know. They just need to figure something out. Because they're on the cusp. They're on the cusp of being good.
Yeah,
but it could
right there.
So it could be just it is their head coach.
Could be. Very well could be.
So it could be just something small as that, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's what the Broncos thought. They axed their guy real quick. So, but yeah, I mean, AFC West. It's incredible how much money they went out and spent, billions of dollars combined, and nothing to come up of it, but everybody falling short. So,
yeah,
and it's been an interesting year. Yeah, it was a lot. But moving on to a guy that probably wants a lot of money elsewhere and wants out of Green Bay, and there you go. There's your hint, Aaron Rodgers, and he says his time with the Packers may be coming to an end if they do the whole rebuilding thing. So, if true, where is he going? I mean, I like Pittsburgh. I like the Raiders. And if Brady retires, I mean, that's a possibility. So what are your thoughts here on that one? Where does Aaron Rodgers go? And does he stay with Green Bay?
So what I can see happening is Rodgers and Tom switching spots. I don't know. Well, they have a pretty big void to fill in the Raiders, but I feel like the Raiders will still find a way to mess things up and and still not be good. I don't know, man. I mean, pretty much any team like could use them.
Yeah.
I'd say that he can go to half the league because a lot of the league needs a good quarterback.
I mean, so speaking of Brady retires, and we now talk Tom Brady, is he done with the Bucs? And if he is done with the Bucs, is he done in the NFL? I mean, I'm going to say yes to the Bucs, unless they pull off a big magic trick and just somehow make him happy. And then in the NFL, I said yes last year, so I'm going to go ahead and say no now. I thought he was done, but I don't think he is. I don't think he goes out like that. I think he at least makes it to another championship game for a division, whether it's the NFC or the AFC. Does he go back to the Patriots? People want
That's
it.
what I'm thinking.
People want to see it. I don't know if it will happen, but I don't know. Your thoughts here. You like it, so what are your thoughts on that?
No, I think if he goes back to the Patriots, I think they're solid. Because the Patriots know one thing and that's how to set a team up around Tom Brady.
Very true.
I think I think they don't like each other. Like Bill Belichick and Tom Brady don't get along. simply because, they're both like have really big egos and, consider themselves the alpha. So, but I think the fact that they work so well together, no matter how hard it was, but they still worked, almost in a chaotic, beautiful dance, you could say.
Yeah,
That they hated each other, yet they respected each other enough to, to play football together,
absolutely.
and they were really good. So, I mean, I can see, like, I think Tom Brady I think Bill Belichick needs Tom Brady more than the other way around. But I do think with them being, I would say that's the best quarterback coach duo there ever was.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, they got the rings to prove it, the records to prove it. So you mentioned that, though, if Tom Brady doesn't end up there, Derek Carr's in this mix. Could he go to the Patriots? I mean, he's got the arm that Belichick wants.
Absolutely. I mean, Derek Carr, in my opinion, he's probably one of the better quarterbacks out there, but is
Yeah,
consistently on a team that just isn't that respectable. And so he doesn't get brought up as much. I do think he has just as much talent as any other quarterback in the league.
yeah.
And just because he's been on a bad team ever since his inception in the NFL, or conception, whatever. I mean, I think that's his downfall. The fact that he's been on such a bad organization the whole time.
I want him to go to the Texans.
I want him to go anywhere that they're going to treat him right.
Fulfill his brother's dreams down in the Texans
Yes.
with a somewhat decent offensive line.
Yeah.
Not be the most sacked quarterback in NFL history. I think that's what he holds the title of. Or concussions, somewhere in there.
Well, yeah. Poor guy. He hasn't had a great man. I really wish I want him to go anywhere where they're going to be competitive. I like to see him at the Steelers. I can see him being good at Green Bay.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Oh,
can see him. Dude, honestly, if he went to Green Bay, that'd probably be better for the league anyways. I guarantee you that the NFC gets a lot more competitive.
oh yeah. That'd be a good move.
Yeah. I think Green Bay would, especially if they're trying to rebuild. They're going through a rebuilding stage and they want to get rid of Rodgers, which, I've given my opinion about Rodgers before. I think he's a joke artist, and, he's only getting older, and he obviously didn't want to be there. These last like 2 or 3 seasons, he's been throwing a fit about going back to Green Bay. I mean, and you can tell he's trying, but, he doesn't want to be there no more, obviously.
No.
And, like I said earlier, Aaron Rodgers could go to Vegas, or you can go to Tampa. You could go to New England. I think he'd be a great fit at New England too.
How about Denver?
I mean, he's only making his job harder and having to win the AFC West.
What's up, Russ? Let's ride. That'd be what they do. And then do high knees on the plane together while getting their discount double checks.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah. Something like that.
Or
yeah.
eating that Subway sub. Is that what commercial he did?
I have no idea.
Like one of the most annoying commercials ever where he's just chewing out loud on camera.
I don't remember, man.
It was so trippy.
I watched the Latino ESPN. I didn't get the same commercials you did.
Well, I would love to see that one in Spanish and see how they dub it together.
I don't think they do. They just use Hispanic, athletes.
Hey, it works. It's good. It's probably better than watching Russell Wilson. So,
yeah.
Lastly, in the NFL, 2 guys who really don't care, Snoop Dogg and Pete Davidson, have been named the team captains for the Pro Bowl games. And, Snoop is looking to win, says he wants to take the podium at the end and be on the highest point of that podium. And then Pete said he just wants to impress his Uncle Mike. So, I mean, the week will have challenges with a big game of flag football at the end of it. What are your thoughts on that one?
Man, honestly, I don't give, a lot of attention to the Pro Bowl. because it's always been kind of a joke. And like the activities are kind of fun, to watch, but I don't need to watch it. You know what I mean? Like I can live without watching it.
Yeah.
But Pete Davidson and Snoop Dogg, I mean, they're both hilarious. I think the NFL went the right direction. I don't know how I feel about the flag football, but I do like the team captains, and I do like the entertainment aspect of the.
Hey, this one
program.
actually isn't put on by the NFL, so kudos to Peyton Manning here. He's the one putting it on, Omaha Production.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
So I'm excited for that.
Yeah. Have you ever watched any of like any of the commentary that he does? Like he watches football on like another ESPN channel
Yeah.
and he gives his own commentary. It's actually pretty interesting. I
Him
like
and his
it.
brother, man, they're great, and they're also, I mean, they're two, in a good way, idiots just calling a football game.
Yeah.
And it's good.
Yeah, I think it's better than having Joe Buck or Troy Aikman, being a commentary. So yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And on that note, we go ahead and move into college basketball. Boy, did you catch that Mizzou Arkansas game Wednesday by chance?
I did not, but
No.
I saw like the final score.
Yeah.
Thing.
Came down to the last second. Mizzou would get the foul to go up potentially by 4. Brown got hurt and hurt his ankle. He went for the ball and somehow twisted it. Haven't heard much on that there, but I mean, 1, Mizzou looked good. 2, this is a team who just got knocked out of the top 25, who yet again beat a team in the top 25. It's crazy. I mean, I say if they compete well with number 4 Alabama this weekend, then they have a shot to get back in the top 25. I think that they should be in there already, but I mean, they've definitely earned it with all these wins that are coming up pretty good. I mean, they had Vandy, Illinois, they beat Kentucky, and I mean, I don't know. I think they need to be out of the top 25. Kentucky's kind of looking pretty poor this year. I mean, I don't know. Again, after losing to Bama and South Carolina for Kentucky there, back to back, I mean, that baffles me, but I don't know. I don't know anything about the top 25, right? So, but it's crazy to me. But what are your thoughts here? Huh?
I think I'm sorry. I was just saying. I think the top 25 is a bunch of BS. I mean, It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, anyways, it's going straight into March Madness. So
True.
I mean, if anything, they should have like the top 64. I mean, that'd be a lot.
They need to. They really do.
Because the top 25 just sounds weird. It's on a weird number. 64 teams make the bracket. So why does it matter? What's the top 25? It's going to be all spread out anyways.
I guess just to pick. I mean, it gives you the way that you get the seating. I mean, it doesn't really put you at an advantage, I guess, to be honest.
Maybe yeah, exactly. I was going to say, and maybe, maybe they got what you call it. It's more for betting, maybe, for gambling.
Yeah. Very well could be. I mean, probably is, to be honest. So, and getting off Mizzou there, going to KU next. Huge game against K-State on Tuesday, and K-State pulled it out. The number 13 Wildcats took out number 2 Kansas. This puts my question here. I mean, should K-State move into the top 5? K-State has beaten a number 6 Texas team, number 19 Baylor team, number 24 West Virginia team, and now a number 2 KU team. And all that KU's done so far is only beat number 7 Duke and number 14 Iowa State. That's it. So, I mean, K-State's got a more impressive resume, and they beat KU. This is where, again, I think it's just kind of like the BCS stuff going on where Alabama, I mean, yeah, Alabama's good, but everybody doesn't want to see them there. Well, you got a lot of people. KU's good. They're going to be there every year, but a lot of people would like to see them out of the top 10 just to watch them play kind of more decent teams to be able to move in to that field. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that one?
I mean, that's just really hard to do. Like even if they do that, I just think it'd be really hard to do in basketball.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, to me, it doesn't matter. I mean, they could be number 16, they could be number 25, number number 20, it doesn't matter. I think at the end of the day, they're gonna end up being put in a spot to, because they're good enough. They're gonna get in a spot where they can still win.
Yeah.
So
Very much.
So to me, I'm not too worried about where they put KU. They can be the last seed and they'll still find a way to be very competitive.
Yeah,
because they're just that team.
Indeed. I agree. One that I don't agree with is, again, Kentucky. I mean, they're just they're falling apart, and it's been interesting to watch. So anyway, on that note, we'll go ahead and talk boxing, and this will be our last topic of the show, as Tommy Fury will be taking on Jake Paul, as the fight has been confirmed. And what are your thoughts on this one? I mean, fights been scheduled before, but didn't happen, correct? I mean, it could be fun.
Yeah, Tommy Fury pulled out the last time. Not exactly sure why. I'm obviously Jake Paul is saying it's because he's scared and don't want to fight him, but I think it probably had some more to do with the Tom Fury didn't want to get gypped, maybe out of some money. Yeah. So, but I'm glad the fight's back on. I honestly, people don't like Jake Paul, and I'm not a huge fan of him either because he's kind of loud and obnoxious. But he's good. I mean, when you have that much money and you can dedicate a lot of that time that he has, and his athleticism, which him and his brother are pretty good athletes.
Yeah.
When you can dedicate that much time to a sport, you're going to get good in a sport where they're really good fighters, but not all of our best athletes are in there. You know what I mean? So
sure.
I would say the competition is a little bit slimmer than it would be like in another sport like football and stuff. I think I like that they're bringing more attention to the sport, and I think he respects the sport. People, they're like, well, he's fought nobody, but those nobodies would be a lot of the people that are just starting out in boxing.
Yeah.
Like Tyron Woodley, even though it wasn't like a big one of the best MMA fighters, like just recently, like he's still a fighter.
Yeah,
he would still probably beat me up, and he'd probably still beat you up. So the point is, I mean, he still went out there with somebody who was a respected fighter and still beat the guy by knockout.
Yeah.
So to me, I think that, I don't know, I like what he's doing. Yeah. People don't like him because he's obnoxious, but I think he's cool. I like it.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be an option for the knockout. I'd be gone already. I'd just lay on the mat. So that's where I stand on that one.
Yeah, I see it.
And we will now head into the local sports update, brought to you by Trackside Burgers. They are open at 1515 West 10th Street in Joplin. Go catch them in Joplin for your tailgate needs. And, the Webb boys basketball team will be in the Frontenac tournament, which began yesterday. That will continue until tomorrow afternoon. And then Joplin began playing in the Pittsburgh Invite yesterday as well. That will also continue through tomorrow. And then Neosho will play host to Forsyth tonight at home. That's going to be a big game. If you can, go down and watch that one, because get your popcorn ready. That's going to be a good matchup. Neosho looks really good, and Forsyth is pretty good this year as well, so that's going to be a fun matchup. And then on that note, we then hit the Ralph Miller varsity tournament, as Carthage will hit the road, and that's going to be in Chinook, Kansas. And lastly, on the guys' side, Carl Junction will host Monette tonight at 7:30 p.m. As for the girls, Carl Junction is participating in the Bill Hansen Memorial Tournament in Pittsburgh, high school in Pittsburgh, Kansas. Get a little ahead of myself there. And then the Neosho girls will be participating in the Gary Keeling Invite in Bolivar, Missouri. And then for Carthage, they will be finishing up in the Pittsburgh varsity tournament this weekend. And lastly, the Webb girls will be participating in the Logan Rogersville Lady Cat Classic through Sunday in Rogersville, Missouri. And you can catch all that on their social media pages for times of the events I did not see any of those, so make sure you tune in to social media tonight, Twitter, Instagram, school pages, whatnot. And on that note, we will go ahead and finish with the 2-minute warning brought to you by Hot Stone Pizzeria, winners for best pizza in the 4 states last year. So go grab one tonight. And Missouri Southern men's and women's teams will hit the road to take on Rogers State tomorrow. The women will tip at 1:30 with the men to follow. And Pitt State men's and women's teams will also hit the road as they take on Northeastern State. Tip is set for 1:30 p.m. as well for the women and the men to follow. And again, of course, all these games and events are pending to the weather and the current and fluid COVID-19 situation. Tune in to each team's social media pages for times and updates. And the music's here again, so it's the end of another episode. For Tony and myself, have a great and safe weekend, and go enjoy some tournament basketball. Any good plans this weekend, Tony?
No, nothing crazy.
Just
watch some. Yeah, just chilling. Yeah, probably just watch some NFL football and hang out.
That's right. All day Saturday tomorrow. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, tomorrow.
I won't be sweating on my couch.
Saturday. Yeah, and then on Sunday.
Good.
We should grill out.
Yeah. Well, depending on the weather, it may snow. I don't know. We'll see. It's Missouri. So we'll catch you all next week. Take care.
See you guys.
And